In this video, you're going to be recording answers in this chart. So in this chart, we have the name of the hero, the problem, and the solution. So for the first one, Marriott Sarfield, you need to listen and find out how many billions of trees are a part of the solution there. And for the other ones, you need to fill in the missing information. Canadian Habitat Heroes by Trudy Romanek. How can ordinary people save habitats? Here we can see a picture of Myruth Sarsfield. Myruth knew deserts were getting bigger, especially in Asia and Africa. Let's read. For every child, a tree. In 1972, many countries took part in an important conference. They vowed to take care of our planet. 10 years later, though, things are no better. More forests had been cut down, deserts were getting bigger. Myruth Sarsfield wanted to remind countries of the vow they had made. She worked for the United Nations Environment Program. Myruth suggested countries replace the trees they had cut down. She wanted children to plant the new seedlings. She thought that might help them feel connected to nature and want to take care of it. Her team organized an event called For Every Child a Tree. 14 countries agreed to take part. Some donated extra trees for countries that couldn't afford to buy their own. Myruth's efforts made a difference. Children planted more than 3 billion seedlings all over the world. Turtle Champion. Mike James knows a lot about leatherback turtles. He knows that some of them weigh over 450 kilograms. He knows that they hatch on a beach and crawl to the water. From then on, they spend most of their lives swimming. Many of these turtles swim from the warm waters of the Caribbean all the way up to the coast of Nova Scotia. Mike knows that along the way they sometimes swim into danger. Leatherback turtles breathe air, just like people do. They rise up and poke their heads above the water to breathe. If a turtle gets caught in a fishing net, sometimes it can't get to the water's surface. Then the turtle will drown. Mike James and his team at Nova Scotia Leatherback Turtle Working Group want to make sure that doesn't happen. So far, Mike's team has taught 500 volunteers how to free leatherback turtles caught in nets. Together they are making the Nova Scotia habitat safer for the turtles. Here we see a picture of Mike James, and this leatherback turtle is laying her eggs in the sand. Read like a writer. What facts and details did the author include to keep you reading? Well, for me, I was interested that turtles need to breathe air, so they have to poke their heads up. I didn't really think about that before. On page 134, at the top, we see the Jefferson salamander is one species that Natalie works to protect. We can see a picture of Natalie Helferty, Pathfinder. Wild animals travel a lot. Some migrate for winter. Others move around to find food. When people build a city or even a single road, it sometimes blocks animals from getting where they need to go. The ever-growing cities and towns in southern Ontario make it hard for animals to get from one patch of wilderness to another. So, Natalie Helferty has tried to keep some pathways open. Natalie is a biologist. She lives on a long ridge of land called the Oak Ridges Moraine. In this moraine, there are towns and cities as well as woods, lakes, bogs, and other animal habitats. Many frogs, salamanders, turtles, snakes, and even deer and foxes live there. Natalie helps developers plan before they build so that the wilderness pathways do not get blocked. She also suggests new paths be made to help animals avoid roads already in their way. Because of her work, local governments have built tunnels under roadways. Natalie has even suggested a special wildlife bridge for large animals like deer and coyotes. Natalie believes that in most cases, animals just need people to stay out of their way. If we do that, we may get to keep these wild creatures as neighbors. Friend of the Arctic. Here we see a picture of Andy Carpenter. Andy Carpenter has spent his whole life in Arctic Canada. The land and its creatures are very important to him. Andy is a very skillful hunter and trapper, but he follows the code of Inuvialuit people.